You are being scammed. Right now, the person who sounds the most certain to you is statistically more likely to be wrong, and your brain rewards them for it.
Your brain doesn't track depth. It tracks delivery. If they don't hesitate, if they don't stutter, if they sound smooth, your system flags them as credible. And that's where the error begins. We are systematically wired to mistake social ease for mental precision. It's why charismatic incompetence can dominate rooms, while quiet expertise goes invisible. You've felt this. That moment when you actually know the answer, but you hesitate because you can see the complexity. Meanwhile, someone else delivers a simple, confident, wrong answer and wins the room. You watch people get promoted, funded, followed, not because they are more capable, because they are more comfortable performing certainty. This creates a recurring failure in how you evaluate reality. You nod along to narratives that feel right, only to discover later they were empty. You overestimate people who speak in clean, uninterrupted sentences, and you underestimate the person who pauses, rechecks, and thinks in real time. And the most dangerous part, you apply this broken metric to yourself. You feel doubt and interpret it as incompetence. You assume that because you question yourself, you must know less than the person who doesn't. You are operating under a silent assumption. Certainty equals truth. So you trust the fastest talker, the smoothest story, the person who sounds least conflicted, ignoring a brutal pattern. The people most convinced they are right are often the least aware of where they're wrong. You are not just misjudging others. You are being guided by a signal that has been spoofed. And if you don't understand why your brain prefers smoothness, you will keep mistaking performance for capability until the cost gets too expensive to ignore. This breakdown is what we call the confidence illusion. It isn't a personality flaw. It's a verification error, a structural failure in how your system decides what is true. At the core of this glitch is something called processing fluency misattribution. When someone speaks fast, clean, and without hesitation, your brain processes that information with almost zero friction, and your system makes a catastrophic shortcut. Ease of processing gets misread as accuracy. If the message feels smooth entering your brain, your hardware tags it as credible. You are experiencing a signal error. High delivery clarity is being mistaken for high data quality. This creates the first mechanical failure. Fluency equals truth. If the story flows, the system archives it as fact, because smooth input creates a false sensation of correctness. But the glitch doesn't stop there. It stacks. The second layer is the illusion of explanatory depth. Humans are wired to believe we understand something simply because we can describe it in simple language. So when a charismatic speaker delivers a clean explanation for a complex system, your brain generates a sensation of depth, even if the explanation is technically shallow. You mistake expressive clarity for real mastery. And this creates the second structural error. Certainty equals authority. Your system reads nuance, pauses, or uncertainty as processing failure, as weakness. Meanwhile, total confidence is flagged as dominance. The brutal reality, true competence often sounds like hesitation because it is tracking variables, uncertainty, and error margins. False confidence sounds like authority because it ignores all of them. And then the final layer activates, familiarity as skill. The more you hear a voice, the more comfortable you feel around a personality, the more your brain tags them as competent, not because of results, not because of accuracy, because of emotional ease. You aren't auditing performance, you are mislabeling comfort as capability. Inside this glitch, fluency feels like intelligence, certainty feels like expertise.
Familiarity feels like proof, but architecturally, it is often just a highly optimized performance that bypasses your critical filters entirely. To override the confidence illusion, you have to stop trusting how a message feels and start auditing how it holds up under friction. Right now, your system is optimized for ease, which means anyone who can deliver a high fluency performance can walk straight past your filters. To fix this, you install manual overrides that force your brain to look at structure instead of shine. First patch, the friction check. This is mandatory whenever an explanation feels too clean, too obvious, too easy to agree with. That feeling of smooth certainty, that is the fluency trap. When something feels effortless to accept, that is exactly when you slow down and you run 3 high-friction questions. First, what part of this do I not understand? Force yourself to locate a specific gap your brain tried to glide over. If you can't find friction, you probably missed complexity. Second, what concrete evidence exists outside the story? Strip away tone, strip away adjectives, look for measurable data. If the claim survives without performance, it might be real. Third, what prediction is being made that can fail? Real competence creates testable futures. If nothing can be proven wrong, you are looking at narrative, not expertise. These questions do one thing. They remove smoothness from the signal and force truth to survive friction. Second patch, Competence Without Performance filter. You must separate delivery from outcome. Most people evaluate competence in real time. Voice, confidence, presence. That signal is trivial to fake, so you stop watching the stage. You read the logs. What has this person actually produced? Not once, not dramatically, repeatedly. Look at 6 months, 12 months. Does the output match the confidence? Because real competence often looks like hesitation, nuance, admitted uncertainty, while fake authority often leaves abandoned projects, moving narratives, excuses that sound polished. Shift from performance to output history, and you become very difficult to manipulate. Third patch, the self-reverse confidence scan. Now apply the same logic to yourself, because the confidence illusion also works internally. We mistake self-doubt for lack of ability, but high-level competence requires high-resolution error detection. The more you understand something, the more variables you see, and your brain mislabels that signal as weakness. So when you feel doubt, ask, is this lack of skill or excess awareness? Often, your hesitation is precision, not insecurity. You aren't broken because you see complexity. You are calibrated. And when you stop punishing yourself for not sounding smooth, you stop betting against your own expertise. The confidence illusion is dangerous because it feels like strength, but it is strength built on performance physics, not reality. These patches aren't about becoming cynical. They are about becoming harder to hack. You are recalibrating your sensors, so you stop following shine and start tracking structure. Drop a comment with a time you trusted a sure voice and paid the price. And if this report helped you recalibrate your social filters, subscribe and hit the like button to stay synced. Stay awake. The system is always running.